Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the 7th episode of Rise and Shine. I think it's hilarious that I'm calling it an episode. Feels like it. This morning, good morning. I want to talk a little bit about something I've kind of unrooted, and I guess it's been over the years, but it's been exemplified to me a little bit more acutely recently, and perhaps some of you will relate to this. I am pretty convinced that one of our major underpinnings of many of our wounds is our inability to identify our needs and subsequently know how to ask for them to be met. And I'm bringing this up today because recently in my life, with all of the tools that I get to use and all of the skills, I have discovered that I am sometimes really not good at asking for what I need. And most of the times when I don't feel comfortable asking for what I need, it's because I am carrying a narrative, generally of scarcity, like I'm not good enough, I'm not doing enough, I should be more, I could do more. And this internal narrative that I tell will get in the way often of me asking for some pretty basic needs to be met. The story I'll share with this is that I've been dealing with Lyme disease. I had some suspicions, but it has recently been confirmed. And for the last few years, I have dealt with just an extraordinary amount of neuralgia, pain, tinnitus, you name it. I've had this like gamut of symptoms that I have gone for 5 years now to doctors to understand and keep getting told that I am perfectly fine until I upped it up and ended up doing blood work and sending it to Germany. Our socialized Canadian labs are accurate on some things and not on others. And so there was some validation in getting this information because I feel like I've been going crazy, wondering what's happening with my body. However, it results in me needing to sleep, especially because oftentimes, like last night, I am up very late and up very early in tracking and in service. So recently I had to take a nap. And I mentioned to my lovely sister, I was like, I'm going to sleep for 40 minutes. And the 40 minutes rolled around and she came in and tried to wake me up. And I was so exhausted, I couldn't even respond. So she came in again. Same thing. And the third time she came in, she got responded to with a grunt. I could grunt. That was all I was capable of. And then she sent in my kid. And as moms know, we will always rise for our children. So I got out of bed, but I was pissed. I was pissed. To me, it seemed so obvious that I needed more sleep. I wasn't responding. I couldn't respond. And I got really angry. I got angry at her. I got angry at my wife. I had a big hissy fit temper tantrum, tired, fugue, rawr. And within about 12 hours of, starting a pretty good scrap, I realized that everything that happened was on me. I do not have people in my life who treat me badly. I have people in my life who treat me well, certainly when they know how to support me. And I realized that I had caused quite a large fight. I felt very angry, very victimized. And when I got through all the mess of these emotions and this storyline, I realized that there was a simple truth underneath it. And the truth was, I needed more sleep. And because I couldn't communicate that, I caused a couple fights. So that very personal story brought me to this awareness that seems like it's completely obtuse, that I haven't really claimed before. Claimed the awareness, right? Like being prepared to take it into us so we can act on it. And for years in my practice, I have understood and seen and witnessed that so many of our problems come from not being able to identify our needs and then not communicating them. So it really should be a bit of a no shit Sherlock, but to see the sort of damage I created through being unable to state simply what I needed was very profound for me. And it made me look at many of the other aspects of my life and figure out, okay, what are the ways that I have not been able to identify my needs and not asked for them to be met. And we have a lovely neighbor, good morning, and a beautiful hound dog. Good morning, making a little video here. Hi, sweetheart. Hi, you're a good boy, good boy. So I have made a bit of a commitment myself. I want to talk a little bit about, I've made a commitment to myself to, regardless of scenario, regardless of audience, regardless of environment, to be very clear and strong in what my needs are and to absolutely take responsibility for communicating them. In my practice, what I have witnessed is that most of us won't ask for our needs to be met because we are scared. We're scared we won't be loved if we do. Well, we're a bit scared that we're not going to be heard. Maybe it doesn't feel safe to communicate them. We're scared maybe that we won't even be seen in them. And certainly we definitely have fear around being understood in our needs. And we have set very high standards for all people in our culture these days, but especially for women. As women, we are supposed to be sweet and nice, and we expect the same flexibility from women as we do from the earth, right? Like, we have trashed her, but we still expect her to support us unharmed. So we harm her, but we have this anticipation that she shouldn't harm us. And so there's all of these ways that we have learned to adjust so that we don't get our needs met, ultimately in the hopes that we might get our needs met. We might be seen. We might be understood. We might be loved. And what happens in this very circuitous, indirect pathway is often a lot of garbage, a lot of crap, a lot of fights, a lot of explaining, a lot of defending. And oftentimes we're actually even stuck in those topical narratives. We don't even realize that underneath it, we just had a need and we couldn't communicate it. And we're hurt by the people in our life for not hearing what maybe we haven't even said, just in a straightforward manner. I need time. I need space. I need your kindness. I need your understanding. I need you to see me. I need you to hear me. I need rest. I need love. So today is an invitation to each of us to allow our needs to come forward, to be comfortable with them, to sit with them at a table. Be like, I have these needs. To move through a simultaneous awareness that it is up to us, that is the primary responsibility, to get our needs met. And to remember, if we have this notion of there is no small one, it is only one big one, that sometimes where we have those needs, they might not be met in that relationship we want them to be met in. But if everything is one and everything is connected, then perhaps the universe or spirit, or however you want to understand that, is trying to show you a different avenue that those needs will be met. Oftentimes, because we are attached, we want this one person to meet our needs, right? We're like, I gave this to you, you should give this to me. And that, again, can be really damaging to a relationship. So as we begin to identify our needs and begin to claim them and make them known to the world, because, you know, God can't answer a prayer unless you put it out, that we also look at all of the ways that we can be witnessed in those needs, support others in those needs, and recognize that if a specific person can't meet them, that it actually always does come back to us. And generally speaking, the world is such a place that if you share your needs with enough people, somebody will show up to help you. Don't look for rescuing though. Having needs is not about being rescued. You don't need anybody to rescue you. You're a two-legged, and just like the two-legged, the four-legged, six-legged, winged, furred, finned, you need community. There are very, very, very few creatures who live by themselves. And if they do, they certainly eat other things and they breathe other things. So recognizing that there is no separation, and that when you, in a healthy way, communicate your needs, what you are giving is permission to all the other beings in the world to communicate theirs. And so I want to leave us with that, an invitation to identify our needs, an invitation to making them known in a very simple and succinct manner. What is underneath all the complex stories we tell? It's really simple things. For all of us, we want to be seen, we want to be loved, we want to be understood, and we want to be heard, and we want to be safe. That's pretty much it. So what are the ways you can offer yourself safety? What are the ways you can offer the world safety? What are the ways you can make your needs known and identify them and share them? And what are the ways that you can identify other people's needs underneath the story they're telling? Because you'll get hung up. We'll get hung up on, oh, you're telling the story of me, you're telling the story of me. Get under that story. What's under that story? Maybe they have a really simple need, and maybe you can so easily meet that need. Recently, I was in a relationship. I had felt a lot of pressure from this relationship, was feeling a lot of pressure, and there was a lot of passive aggression happening and a lot of subtle energies and stories, and I was getting told a lot of different things. And I finally sat down with this person and I kind of pushed them, and I kept pushing them, and I was like, what do you want from me? What do you want from me? What do you want from me? And there was a lot of story that came out, a lot of stuff about me, some stuff about them, but a lot of stuff about me. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? What do you want from me? And finally, their response was, I need your attention. And right away, I was like, okay. We don't want to get to where we're going through being forced or manipulated. Passive aggression is another way of saying you've got a need that you're not communicating clearly. So this is an invitation today to identify our needs and to make them known in a clear and healthy manner to the world so that those needs can be met. For all of us in these crazy COVID times, I send you love. I send you support. May these wisdoms grow seeds of beauty in your day. And all my love to all my relations. Aho.